Yo, what the fuck up, Crazy Nation? It's your boy SB repping that crazy. You know what it is? I'm back again with another episode of Crazy Discussions, and I'm with the Don Pax on the beat, motherfucker. What up?
Thank you so much, brother. How are you?
I'm good, my brother. I'm very blessed, bro. Even though we're in a tough situation right now, you know what it is. We're still blessed, still working.
That's right. We
Hey,
never stop.
how you
We
been, my
never
brother?
stop.
How you been?
I've been good. I've been working, and hopefully, like this situation will change soon.
100%.
And I can't wait to see the artist gigging again.
Can't wait to see you again, brother. It's been a minute.
That's true. I can't wait to see you again too.
Fucking vibing, bro. You remember that shit? Those were the days.
Oh man.
Shout out to the old gigs, man. That shit was mad. Yo, bro, I love your logo, by the way. Because it's behind you. Oh, man, that's such a good placement to put it. Yeah. Where you at right now, bro? Where you at? Let him give him a little flex.
I cannot tell you. Sorry.
Nah, you're good. I'm fucking up.
I'm in the studio.
Yeah. Alright, by the way, you're allowed to swear, just to let you know. I have to let people know that shit, because people get worried. They're like, oh, so I have to be like PG. I'm like, no. You can swear all you want, bro.
Yeah. I'll be myself, brother. Don't worry about that.
Alright, bro. Pax is a producer, right?
I am a producer.
One of the best in Oz. Let's be honest.
Oh.
One of the best in Oz.
No. Don't say that.
Bro, I'll claim it then. In my opinion, he's one of the best in Oz.
I appreciate it.
It's all good, man. He's worked with a lot of variety of artists, such as Inferno, Double Six. Who else have you worked with? Kobe, Sophia. You've worked with Melchior, yeah?
Yeah, I
Melchior
did.
as well. He's done R&B, he's done hip hop, he's done drill. Like, that's why you're up there for me for one of the top producers, because you can do more than one sound, and that to me is not many producers know how to do that, brother.
Yeah, well, I believe in music and in the power of music, and I don't like to see myself in a box.
Yeah.
And I just wanna express myself in so many ways, and like I don't think I should just dedicate myself in one genre of music.
100%.
I think there are so many ways and so many genre of music, and I want to try it all.
I think the first time I heard a produced beat by you was Low Tree by Motherland. I remember it because I remember Pax, because they say Pax on the beat. That intro, I remember. To me, that intro made that song legendary. Who's on the beat? Boot on the Pax on the beat. What's up? I was like, oh, this is cool. I remember that. Shout out to Motherland, man. Those boys are killers. Blaze has been killing it right now. Shout out to him. Proud of him. Good to see that he's been still working hard. Alright, anyway, let's go back to the first segment. Let's go on to the first segment. Sorry?
Alright.
What was I about to say? What is your definition of for the culture? Or what does it mean to you?
Well, why do I make? Let me get there.
You're good.
Why do I make music?
Mm-hmm.
I create music because I want to resonate with people.
Yeah.
And I believe like my job is trying to make the artist achieve that in the best way as possible. So my job is trying to create the message from the artist to the audience.
Mm-hmm.
So for the culture is whatever resonate with people and is true, and it really represent and brings something to society, you know?
Yeah.
And it marks society in a certain way. So like for the culture is something that resonate with people.
Yeah, 100%.
I'll say that.
I like that answer. As well, leading on to that, to you, especially because I know you more as like a hip hop producer, what is what is hip hop culture and why is it important to Australia?
That's a hard one. Well, to be honest, like when I was young, I was a skater, and I got close to hip hop
Yeah.
because I was skating,
Mm-hmm.
and on the skate parks, who were there with the friends and listening to hip hop. It was something that unite and make us part of something,
Mm.
and like it was pretty. It was a movement. It was something like they bond us together, and 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 that's why like I stepped into hip hop and I couldn't never leave it anymore because it was pretty. It was deep. I don't know how to say. Like it was something like forget your problems at home, forget what you're going through, forget about all the bullshit
Yeah.
that like
For
forget
me,
about
it's like
everything.
a second reason of like, you know how like that's like football fans. That's their getaway. And it's like that's what you're saying. It's your
It's a
getaway
getaway.
from everything else in life.
And that's how I started. And then it
Yeah.
was like man, like I'm 33. I started when I was 15. And that was 15 years
Jeez.
ago. And I come from Europe, you know that. And
Yeah.
like back in Europe, like the hip hop culture is like embedded in the people. Like we have b-boys and like graffiti crews, and like it was really heavy, and we
The
had clubs
the
underneath the ground. It's different,
the
like
real
it was.
each one teach one type stuff. That's
Yeah,
what I know what you're
but
talking. You're talking about the real elements of hip hop that it seems like it gets forgot. It's not really here like it is everywhere else in the world.
no, it's in Australia too,
Yeah.
and it's in a different way, and it's
Yeah.
got different faces, but
Mm.
it's exactly the same thing.
Yeah. I get you.
Every like I don't believe like it belongs to a nation
Oh no, I'm not
or
saying it
to
belongs to it, but I feel like back like those like in those countries because I've been to Italy and stuff like that. It's more like old, like you're saying, old school, like 90s,
yeah.
80s. Like
It was
it,
embedded,
they
like,
remember that culture. That
yeah,
there's a b-boy, there's a grapher, there's an MC, there's a producer, there's
beat
a
maker,
beat
like
maker. Like
all the DJs, the scratches, and like
yeah, like that's like because I actually bring that up to a lot of people in Australia, and they don't know what that means. They don't
no,
know. They really don't know that
because you
type of
need to
stuff.
understand. You need to understand that there are different
Oh yeah,
generations,
of course.
and there are new generation approaching the music, and they love the music. They resonate with it. They love
Yeah.
it, but they don't study the history behind
Mm.
it, and they don't know where all that stuff comes from.
Yeah.
But like you in order to respect the culture, you're supposed to study and like even if it's different,
Yeah. I
even
get
if it's
you.
different what's happening like now in 2021, it's totally different what was happening in the 90s.
Yeah. Bro, like
But
in my opinion, hip hop, like if you were asked me what the hip hop culture is, I feel like back in the 80s and the 90s, the hip hop culture was the news. They would tell you, they would report you about what's going on in their countries. Like I like that's a big reason I love hip hop. Like lately I've been listening to a lot of UK drill. And I'm learning so much about how they live their lifestyle.
exactly.
Like like a lot of people say to me, "Oh, drill's just like they're just like talking shit," but like you listen to them and you're just like, okay, like you're in detail. Like they're so detailed into their music, and
because
like
that's the purpose of music, is to
yeah,
represent
mm,
the people
yeah,
and the place where they come from.
yeah. Like I love that. I love like I can see why so many people like UK music and stuff like that. But that brings it back to like what's so important about hip hop. Because I feel like what I really like, I actually had this conversation with Nookie 2 days ago, and he was talking about like when he started to come up.
Yeah,
Him and Solo came to Australia, or not him, but Solo came to Australia, and he was saying he goes hip hop was a white man's thing here.
yeah,
He's like I don't get it. He goes everywhere in the world it's like every culture, no, it's not just like, and I just started laughing because I was like, damn, like imagine that. Imagine if you come from like the US or something that like you're not Anglo, and you come here and you're like, wow, the whole top of the scene is just like white folks. Like, you get what I mean? And it's just like, oh, like, and like everywhere else, it's like it's every culture. It's not just one. It's like and then now you can see it. It's starting to accept other nationalities
Of course.
into the scene, and it's amazing. It's amazing to see. But yeah, like you said, it's very important. Like the cult, like I feel like the culture, the hip hop culture,
The history behind it.
yeah, and not only that, like even now, like I was like Nuki said, because the reason I started to make music was I saw other people telling their story, and I wanted to tell mine. I wanted to tell like how it was to be an indigenous kid in Australia. And when I heard that, I was like, yes. I'm like, tell me. I'm like, I'm gonna get you on the podcast. Tell me more, like, because I like hearing that. Like, that's what I like hip hop. Like,
That's what it's supposed to be.
yeah, yeah. Like, that's what I enjoy.
We're living on a age, like on a era where like I don't know, the kids watch TikTok and they want to become rappers and they start rapping about some bullshit, and the funny like the funny part, they start flexing, and now like most of the artists are rapping about themselves.
Mm.
When you listen to music back in the day, is about people.
Yeah.
It's not about you.
Yeah.
Like, who cares of what you're doing?
Mm.
Why would I buy your music if you're talking about like what you have? Or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
I get that.
But anyway, like I guess it goes with the market, and like there are a lot of.
Like for me, I don't mind if they do that, but as long as they don't do it all the time. Like you're saying, that's what you're saying. They do it all the time.
Exactly.
Like there's a lot of
I like
artists.
that too.
I've been getting to a lot of US music lately. Actually, like a lot. And I've been listening to like the Little Baby of the world. I've been listening to Polo G, and like everyone was asking me, they're like, "Oh, like you like their music?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I go, "Do you know what I like about their music?" And they go, "What?" I go, "Have you ever seen when they drop albums? It's 20 to 30 songs, and it's not the same thing. One's like a sad song, one's a success song, one's
changing.
It's a full story."
Yes.
And like
it's an experience from the start to finish.
Yeah, and like I was listening to, I listened to pop. I just got into like them. Like I've always listened to them, but I've never really looked into their music. I've only liked their like hits until I looked into their music. And I'm like, wow, like they have a story. Like it's so deep. They tell their mates' stories. They don't just tell theirs, and that's such an amazing thing to hear.
Exactly.
Like for example, if one of your friends like passes away, like one of my favorite things was the Letter to Cadet by Crep, and then he did one. No, was it Crep or Conan? No, Conan. And then he did one to Conan, and then when Cadet died, he made another one, responding like, "Sorry, we could have never seen eye to eye. Like we were so close, but and now because you're gone, like I'm hugging my children, and being like, and it hits me. It's like, damn, bro, like this is how you're like. I wouldn't say this is how you should make music, but if that type of stuff happens in your life, trust me, the fans will connect with you because they know how it feels to. There's no one in this world that has not lost a single person. I don't believe that. There's no way.
But why would you like that? Because it resonates with you. Because like
it's just
real.
It's real. But not only that, it's like it's more than one part. It's Crep. Sorry, yeah, it is Crep. So for example, one made a letter to one, then one responded, and then after Cadet passed away, sadly, last year or 2 years ago, Cadet died, and then he responded with last letter to Cadet. And what's beautiful is he has our part where he's talking to Cadet's mum. And like you see the moment where they're connecting, and like he says, he's like, "I'm so sorry I wasn't there." And like she responds with like, "You gotta understand, he knew you were there spiritually."
Yeah,
And that's such a beautiful message. And to me,
it
like,
is.
to me, that's what hip hop is. Hip hop is something where you can vent. Honestly, Eminem proved it. You can vent about anything in your life, and you're good. Eminem's a perfect example of that.
Fucking hell.
Like, but
You know,
that's what I noticed. Like, it started as a fun thing, the dip bit, like all that, and then like it's what I love is hip hop keeps on evolving.
yes,
That's
it
one of
does.
the most amazing things. It's either you evolve with it or you get left behind.
Behind.
Like,
It's true. It's true.
and it's
It
such
keeps
a
evolving and it never stops. And like, actually, music today, like, is changing every 3 6 months.
mm.
Trends are changing. Like, if you wanna be like, but you know what? I don't even believe that much in that because, like, look at
No,
Bruno
but
Mars.
I mean, like it evolves in different ways. Like,
It does.
but you can still make. You're still gonna have a fans in certain parts. It's not
Yes,
like they evolve and just
that's what I
forget
want to
about
get.
it. You
Yes,
know what I mean?
yes.
Like they evolve, but they allow more. Like they allow more stuff into it, and
True.
like it just becomes different genres of. That's why there's so many genres in hip hop. It should just be called hip hop. Don't add
That's
the
it.
genre. Just like people go, oh yeah, drill. I'm like, no, you mean hip hop? Okay, it's just
Hip-hop.
straight like. But yeah, like it evolves. Like, but
100%.
it's such a beautiful thing. Like, it's to me, it's one of the best. Like when I found music, when I started to get into hip hop, I remember liking hip hop when I was a kid. But when I got older, bruh, like a lot of hip hop has like saved me. Like
Not
they,
just you, a lot of people.
yeah, oh of course, but like I say this to everyone. I'm a R&B head, at like for sure. But when I found hip hop, I got lost. Like the stories, people ask me like, how can you have so many people in a playlist? If you listen to their music, you understand why. Everyone has a different story. Everyone has a story to tell. Like I remember I reacted to Dave a few last month when he dropped his album, and I was just listening to him. I can see why people like
What
this
a
guy.
talented artist, eh?
Oh, brother,
Bruh.
he is
Next level. And
he
that's what
is.
I mean, like, that's music right
But
there.
he makes 6 minutes songs.
But that's what I'm saying. Fuck the rules. Who cares?
I agree, but
Like, I'm in a room with some artist telling me, oh, it's 3:30. No, 3 minutes 30 is too long. We need to keep it around 2:40. The Spotify plays. These how many views we can get. This fuck off. Create music.
you know I agree with you because I had someone tell me this. You gotta keep your podcast short
Yeah.
because people don't have the attention span. And then I responded to this guy by saying, do you ever watch live streams?
That,
Like they go for hours. They don't go
Yeah.
for like if you're interesting enough and if you have your own fan base, they will stick through with you. Even for example, I get a lot of messages now where they're like, oh my god, like I haven't watched your videos, but to see that you've developed so much from 2 years ago to what you're doing now, like you're doing something. You've actually, like, you haven't slowed down. You haven't stopped. And that's what I've been learning. I've been learning that I'm evolving and like doing this, like the podcast. I never
but
thought
see,
I would have done
you've
this.
been learning.
Yeah.
To learn, you need to be humble.
Mm.
That's what the problem is in this business.
Yeah.
You need to be humble. Nobody knows shit.
Yeah.
You need to research and study. It doesn't matter. I've been in this industry for 15 years. I'll sit in a room with a different engineer or with a different producer. I shut the fuck up and I look because they can teach you something that you don't know.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing like for everything, for podcasts too.
Yeah. Like honestly, I learned a lot by watching. Like you know me, you've seen me in a room with you, with Inferno. How quiet am I? I'm quiet. Like everyone goes, oh, you're not. If you know me, when anyone's talking about something that I actually am curious about, I'll be quiet as a mouse. I wouldn't talk. I'll just be like, yep, you talk. Because I want to listen to what you have to say.
You're absorbing information, that's why.
Yeah. And it's interesting. It's such a... But yeah, man, like, I don't believe in that short stuff. I don't understand. Like, I get it. I do get it. Like, don't get me wrong, I get it. But, for example, as me as a reactor, I don't know if anyone... I know my fans have noticed this. I will say it's too short. I will say that. Bro, do you know what I hate? I hate the artists. Like, no disrespect to these artists, but they have one verse and the chorus goes for 2 to 3 minutes. And I'm like, you couldn't be bothered writing another verse? Like, what? You might as well just ask someone for a feature.
But that's why they never make it, because they're too lazy.
Yeah.
There are artists like that.
Yeah.
Also, there are producers like that. The same fucking loop and the arrangement is not fucking changing for 3 minutes.
You're right. I've noticed. You know me. I've said this on reactions. That's the thing. We get along.
I like to change the production, but to do that, you need to push yourself.
Yeah.
You need to stop to be lazy, and also you need to start judging yourself and criticize yourself, and like trying to improve. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Like, I'll say this. It's good. Like, it's good to have an ego. Like, you're allowed to have an ego. But let me finish. You can have an ego, because I've seen people like this. They have a pretend ego, but realistically they're knowledgeable. Like, they want to learn. Because there are people like that. They have an ego when it comes to other people. Like, but when it comes to like you, they'll be like, oh, okay, wait, I want to listen. They be quiet and they go, yeah, talk. You know what I mean? I've seen that a lot, but like, I'll say your ego won't get you everywhere in your life. Like, most of the people I've ever seen, most of the people I've ever met, not even artists, players, soccer players, football players, any sport, actors, you'd be surprised. Like, for example, this is a perfect example. I was talking to my mum about, we were watching The Voice the other day. And you know what that is, yeah, the TV show?
Yeah.
And my mum was saying to me, she goes, who would you pick if you had a chance to pick out of all of the people? And it was like, I think it's Keith Urban, Jessica Malboy, Guy Sebastian, and Rita Ora. And she asked me, she goes, who would you pick? I go, probably Keith Urban. And she goes, why? And I'm like, because the music he does, no one finds it interesting. But he makes bank off it. You know what I mean? Like, he makes, like, there was one where it was Pharrell, will.i.am, and I'll pick Pharrell just to sit down with him for 2 minutes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just to have the chance to conversate with a person like that.
100%.
Like, and that's what I was saying to my mum. And she goes, wow. She goes, you wouldn't pick the pop. I go, no. I go, Keith Urban, there's something about him. Like, not only besides that he's married to, like, Nicole Kidman, it's like, it's something about him. He's got a knowledge that it must be something, because I'm really shocked. And I listen to his music, and he's got amazing music. Like, his music's beautiful at times. I was like, when I've actually, like, sat down and listened to his music, I'm like, like, I can see why he's such a big artist.
100%.
And that's why, because my mom's like, oh, well, what about Rita Ora? I'm like, yeah, they're all pop singers. I go, they're great. I go, but his story, he's the only one that's like, I wouldn't say Jessica Malboy and that aren't like big, but he's like big, like, he's like worldwide, and he's been doing it for decades as well. 100%. And as well, he's Australian, right? So oh no, or is Nicole Kidman Australian?
Oh,
Nicole Kidman's Australian, and he, yeah. Whatever. But anyway, like, that thing, like, I would always, like, for example, if I ever saw a producer, like, if I saw the whole thing, right, and it was a producer and, like, 3 mega artists, I would always pick the producer. Because for me, the producer, without the, like, don't get me wrong, of course, without the artist, there isn't, like, music. But
100%.
but without the producer, like, the producers do certain stuff that artists, okay, not all artists, but some artists don't understand. And that's why they don't know. That's why they don't know how to produce.
If you are a producer, you are an artist.
Yeah.
But you're an artist that one day wants to be Kendrick Lamar. And one day wants to be
Look at
Bruno
Kanye.
Mars.
Look at Kanye. He's a perfect example.
Exactly.
He started as a he started as a producer.
Exactly.
And then he found his own fucking lane. And look at him now. Like,
what a guy. What a guy, man.
Oh, it's crazy.
Creates band, design clothes, sell music. Influencer. It's perfect. He's influencing a generation.
But even him, you look at him, when he's around knowledgeable people, he doesn't talk.
Yeah, of course.
It's such a beautiful thing to see. Like, because everyone puts him as that loudmouth, all that stuff. But that's just an act. Like, it's not him as a person.
100%.
And like, if you ever hear him talk about his mother and stuff, it's like, that's the real Kanye. He's vulnerable. He's
100%.
He's a person that's connected to, like, the soul. Like, if you get what I mean, like, he's connected. He's never lost. And it's such an interesting thing. Even Wayne, I was watching Lil Wayne did this interview the other day, and he was talking about his mental health.
Yeah.
And to me, I'm like, whoa! And everyone's like, why are you so surprised? I'm like, because Lil Wayne, I reckon old school Lil Wayne would have never, like, actually came out and spoke about this.
People need to understand that these people are still people.
Yes, exactly.
Not gods.
100%, yeah. Alright, man. Let's keep it moving. Alright.
Let's go.
Next, I'll go with what software, because we'll lead on to the next question after that. What software do you use?
Okay.
You don't want to say it?
I use Machine.
What?
Exactly.
Wait. Oh, got you. Don't worry. I get you. I get what you mean.
I use Machine.
Yeah. I thought you said your shin. That's what I was like, wait, what? Oh my, what the fuck is that?
It's a software that comes with this.
Yeah.
So I create my grooves on that, and I create all my loops on that.
Yeah.
And then I move them on Logic.
Yeah.
And on Logic, I create the arrangements and the effects. And
Well,
I record my artist.
Oh, sorry. Keep on.
And then, I use it basically for everything except mastering. For mastering, I use Pro Tools.
Yeah. And I've heard about this. Like, I was watching a producer's interview. I told you about this the other day. And that's what they say. One uses one for one thing, and then they'll send. This is an interesting thing. I did not know how often producers actually send, like, to other producers. Like,
yeah.
And like, they actually talk. They're like, They're like, oh yeah, I trust your opinion. Tell me what you think about this beat.
Yeah.
Or stuff like that. Because I was listening to that, what I was talking to you about. And Murder Beats would be like, yeah, I don't know how to use this, so I'll send it to this guy, and then he works on it, and then he sends it back.
You know how many times I call Gambino?
Yeah.
Or I call somebody and say, fuck, I need to do this. I can't. How am I going to do this? Like, it's normal, man. It's normal.
No, but like, the thing is, it's not really spoke about, like, a lot.
Yeah, of course.
Like, when I heard that, I was like, oh, I'm like, that's cool to know, because as a fan of, like, music, I don't know that. But I know producers know that. Like, mix and masters and stuff like that, they know that stuff. But I feel like a lot of fans don't know. Like, your favorite producers, mostly of them, talk to each other.
Yeah.
And, like, they send each other, like, beats just to get another person's opinion on their, like, it's interesting. It's interesting to hear that, because it just means, like you said, you drop your ego to get criticism. You get someone, like now I understand why a producer would send me a beat and go, by the way, what do you think of this? Because it's like they trust my opinion enough to like talk about it. I never understood that until I listened to that interview. And I was like,
Of course.
so he just wants my knowledge on the beat. Like what do I think about it? I was like, okay, cool. And I started helping him and he was like, yeah, no, thank you. I'm like, oh man. I was like, that's mad. Like I never saw it as that. I always saw it as like
It happens.
alright.
It happens a lot of times.
I was gonna ask, was Logic like did you always use those softwares or what did you start with? Like or
Ooh.
were they different?
What's the name? Reason. I started on Reason.
Yeah.
I actually started on Reason, and that was like mind blowing. I was 15, brother. I was 15, like.
Were you still in
smoking
Italy?
a lot of weed and like don't care about anything and.
Were you still in Europe?
Yeah, still in Europe. Like I was still in Europe,
Yeah.
and I was using Reason, and what was coming off Reason was scary. If I listen to it right now, but then I'm at Logic, and I got in love with it because
yeah,
it's such an easy tools to use, and like you don't stop, and like the creative process is a quick process. You don't want to stop thinking about how am I gonna do this. And Logic has that thing that you can approach the audio in a quick way. And that's why I use Machine as well, because I can produce really quick on this.
Yeah.
Like my artists know I'll make a beat in 1 hour. Like why do I do that? Because I have those kind of software that makes me do that. And I know this software for 15 years.
Yeah. That's
so
awesome.
I know exactly where the sounds are and what do I need and when do I need it and blah blah blah. So that's what it is.
Okay,
like experience.
I understand that. Fucking hell. How about, alright. I'll just do another one. It goes with that as well. How much time do you spend making beats?
I'm always in the studio, man.
I know this. I just want to hear you say it.
I just live in the studio, man. I wake up in the morning, and I probably have breakfast with my girlfriend, and then I go for a run.
But was this always the case? Like even before you know what?
No, this is at this stage of my life, because before I was working in construction.
Oh, okay. So,
like the reality is like to live in Australia off music, you need to have some money coming in. Australia is an expensive country, man.
Yeah.
Like
it is.
Only the rent is fucked, you know?
Yeah.
So like at the start I was that's what, like fucking 8 years ago probably, when I met Inferno, which I met on Facebook. That's a long story anyway. But yeah, like I was working in construction and nobody knew in Australia who I was.
Yeah.
Because I was working just overseas and like had my contacts over there and blah blah blah, and then just I end up here and say, all right, let's go in Australia, let's make some hip hop in Australia. And when I go here 8 years ago, like nobody was making music. Like there wasn't the scene that it's.
It would have been just like Cursor would have just started.
Cursor
like
and
that was that would have been 2 years into his career.
Probably.
Not like into his career, but like when he started.
They were doing battles with 360 and stuff like that. That's the Australia that I found.
Yeah, and like Bliss and Esso,
so much.
Bliss and Esso and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, all that.
They would have been doing their thing in Melbourne.
Yes. And like I really like. I couldn't find and I was in West Sydney, man. Like I was in West Sydney, and I couldn't find any group of hip hop heads, and like I couldn't find any. I said, "Fuck,
yeah.
Who am I gonna produce for?"
Yeah, 100%.
But then like it changed so much in 8 years. Like the whole industry evolved. And,
oh yeah, now everyone's alive.
there are artists everywhere, and like and I could quit my job, and that's it. Now I'm a
But
producer.
honestly, like shout out to the people that made it like possible to like
100%, man.
like
And this culture is
there's a
growing,
lot
and
of
it's growing constantly every day.
There's a lot of artists that like really evolved this fucking scene. And I know who they are. I've already mentioned them so many times. So like, yo, shout out to them. Shout out to the people that actually helped the culture. Like they started to push it
100%.
and
There are a
made it.
couple of
Cause you're right. You are
the music
right.
stuff.
It wasn't, bruh. Even I know. All I remember was Cursor 360. I know about Bliss and Esso just because of their name, and that was it. Like, and the searches as well, of course. Like this. But they came in, like you said, it came in later.
Yeah.
And then now it's like a whole like multicultural fucking.
Oh, now it's sick, bro. Like, nah, fuck with it. Like, you see, like there are so many nationalities and so many styles and so many ideas. I fuck with it. Like Australia right now, it's sick. If it wasn't for fucking COVID, like we would have been releasing so many bangers this year. But
100%.
next year.
Hey man. They just gotta get ready. I've heard some music that are in the drives that fucking hell. Not from you, but from other producers. I'm just like, ooh, I go, whenever this stuff drops, like, come on, bro. Like, I know Spacey's got some bangers on the way. I know Ago's got a few stuff as well. Like everyone, like you said, what's amazing is now everyone has stock.
Yes.
Now everyone has a bunch of music. Because the thing is, a lot of artists don't want to drop their music because they can't do music videos. I know this. Yeah, I've noticed that.
Yeah.
And so that's the thing. You either have to pay a lyric video, and even lyric videos. There's not many people that do lyrics in Australia, and it's just like you rather I can understand.
It's not the same.
Yeah, so I'm curious. I'm curious to see what's next for Australia, man. Australia's on a very.
I think Australia's on the rise. In regards to music.
100%.
Also, Kid Laroi pushed it overseas, and now people are talking and they watching what's going on in Australia.
Yeah.
And maybe it can be the time that more people get noticed.
100%. I mean, I reckon as well, another thing that we need, I don't think we need it, but I think it would be very helpful. I would love to see something like a GRM daily here.
Yes
and no.
We don't have the audience. You need to understand that we don't have the audience.
I get that.
That kind of hype. You know what I mean?
But I reckon
hype.
I reckon when that comes, because there's been, and then they fuck off. Bruh, there's so many people that have done it. They've started it, and then they just drop it. Yeah. And it's funny, they started it when there was no scene.
Yeah.
Now there's a scene. There's literally there's artists everywhere. And it's just I reckon that will be the game changer for Australia. Is when, for example, a lot of people they pay other people from overseas to post their videos.
Yeah.
Instead of someone making I reckon if someone ever makes something here, that'll be interesting. But like you said, you have to get the audience and everything, obviously.
Yeah,
But I reckon if you're able to get the underground's music videos, but as well, of course, you pay the artists. Let's be honest. I think that's the difference between Grime Daily and everyone else. Is that they pay the fucking artists. I reckon it has to be, I hate to say it, has to be someone that's isn't egotistical.
Do you think GRM pays the artist?
I think they pay him for
the artist pays GRM.
No. But I think they pay him for the views. For example, if their video gets revenue, I have a feeling they give them. They're oh well, this is their revenue. We're gonna give it to them. That's what I mean by that. Royalties. Sorry.
Publishing.
But what it is, of course, I would assume most people pay him to be on it. But what it does is, it's so genius, bro. It's something that is needed.
Yeah.
Like I reckon
It's creating community, and it's creating talk, and it's creating buzz, and it's creating like a movement or something.
Like, cause there's so many now of like them. There's that. There's
of course.
worldwide mixtape that they do Irish and like Irish grime and stuff like that.
I think
Worldstar started that, right?
Hip-hop.
Yeah. Until look at it now, it's not really the same thing. But anyway, shit happened. But yeah, like I reckon once Australia gets a couple of pages like that if they can, there are some. I would say there's some, but them. How do I say this without offending them? They're more like focused on them instead of actually the scene. If you get what I mean, like
I get what you're saying.
They want their head to be the head of it.
Yeah.
Like, while I don't even know the owners of JM Daily. I swear it's like it's a label now. If it seems like
probably
they have their own award show as well. Like, bro, like what?
But that's the new era, man. 2021. Everybody can create whatever they want.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. I can't wait to see that happen. Alright, let's keep on moving. What was I about to say? Oh, I'll go with this one. This is actually an interesting one.
Uh-oh.
What is one beat you wish you produced and why?
One beat?
Yeah, one beat.
Alright, I'll answer on that. Is the song is called "Back to Basics" from Fredo.
Yeah, I know the song.
And if you listen to that, Dave produced that. And if you listen to that, every time I listen to it, I get the shit. And that's a fucking vibe, man.
Yeah.
You can listen. Fredo can shut the fuck up on that beat, and you can listen to the beat for hours, and he gives you a mood and a feel, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
But of course, like the song together, like it's sick.
For me, even though I'm not a producer, I don't know why it's always this song. I think this is one of my favorite songs I've ever heard. If I Ruled the World by Nas.
Which one?
If I Ruled the World with Nas and Lauryn Hill. Because I know Lauryn Hill's sample won't be added onto it, but I love her, like her vocal on that note. And as well, like that's another one where you can just, why I like it so much, for me, it shows New York.
Yes.
Like
it represents New York.
Yeah, it represents I'm a big fan. I'm not even a big fan of New York rap actually, but I love the production of New York music.
Let me ask you a question.
Mm.
See, like we're talking, I listen to this beat and represent New York.
Mm.
So what kind of beat represent Australia?
There's not many, if any. Like shout out to Scribe. They're like honestly, like I think there are some. There has been some.
I think what we need is we need to start worrying about Australia.
Like what I like about you is I know this because I've got told about, and I've seen videos where you go around the city and record shit. And you might. I've seen it on a video. The one thing I could think of that was something like that, I forget. I think it was Isaac's song or one of Elijah that they record the train station. They sample the Blacktown and I like that. I like when you know what?
I agree with you.
Actually, it's not produced. It wasn't in the production, but what Moonboy did for Young Ellipse's last video, that one that everyone's posting about. Yeah. What he did, Moonboy's the editor, the video editor. Yeah. He did on that music video is genius. He recorded the trains. He recorded the train stations the sound of West Sydney. You gotta
Exactly.
understand. I love the sound of West Sydney. West Sydney is one of the most beautiful parts. Everyone can blame it, West Sydney, for everything else. But the sound, you hear every sound of culture, of different nationalities in West Sydney. Like, it's crazy. Like, and like, I've seen you go.
But that's the beauty of it.
Yeah. And like when I said that to Moonboy, I actually spoke to him. I was like, dude, I go, you are smart. And he goes, why? I'm like, because you did that. I go, you brought back the feeling of old school hip hop where they do that.
When I saw the video he did for Cursor, I understood this kind is talented. Like,
he's out there. His whole team. So, but as well, shout out to the whole team. Like their whole crew. Their whole crew is solid. Like they know what they're doing. And like you said, like I reckon that's one thing that Australia needs to start finding is like besides their own sound, but like I know they do it for music videos. They embrace the cultures, but I would love to hear that in the music. Because see, like, for example, certain people go, oh, I have to see the music video to hear that, when it's like, I could have just had that in the music on its own.
But, like, I'll tell you what the problem is. Like, you're aiming to be an artist that is going to go to America and make money, like Kid Laroi. How many times 7 News or fucking Channel 10 talks about Kid Laroi?
Never.
They don't give a shit.
They do now. They do.
Become a fucking millionaire, and nobody gives a shit. And he's an Australian kid, Aboriginal.
They do now, but back in the day they didn't. Yeah, but you know what I mean. They have him on certain times.
Yeah, but not that much, and that's why he's missing the sound of Australia. Because if we get recognition through our channels, so that means there is money for the artist, then the artist wants to be an Australian artist because he makes money.
Yeah.
But he doesn't want to be an Australian artist because Australian artists don't make money unless they go overseas.
They either go to...
And hang on a second. I'm talking about serious money.
Oh, yeah. I know. I know.
Not trying to be like...
Trust me, like I've seen... Brother, look at the bands back in the day. They had to go to, because this is a funny thing. People go, Australia doesn't have a sound, like music like that. Yo, you just play AC/DC everywhere.
Exactly.
I reckon AC/DC might be one of the biggest, like I know they are, but their music is still relevant now.
Exactly.
And like people say, oh, and Wolf Mother is another one. People forget. Brother, that Joker and FIFA song, they play that fucking song in every sporting event I've ever seen.
That's what I'm trying to...
And that's what I get very offended when people say Australia don't have people that have came out of Australia. That is bullshit. Wolf Mother's one. AC/DC is probably the biggest out of everyone that... Like, everyone forgets they're Australian. They think they're... Brother, no American does that sound, please. No, but yeah, like, there's a lot of people that have came out of Australia.
We need to focus in Australia and let's focus overseas.
What's that other fucking group? There's a boy band that came out of Australia as well. I forget their name. It's vivid in my brain that I know the name, but I don't remember. But anyway, like them as well. But like you said, they all have to go overseas.
No, they don't have to.
But they get the audience there. The money comes from there.
You open your phone and Instagram is bombing you with a reality that is not Australia, but is the reality of America.
Oh yeah, and another one, Sia.
And that's what happened. Like society is pushing you to watch that, and we have generation watching with that kind of music. We want to beat that.
Yeah, like honestly, someone asked me this. They go, if I got offered, see, my job, what I do, honestly, it would be preferably that I go to the US or England, honestly. But what I would do, if I was to do that, I would go there for, I don't know, a couple of months, see what's missing in Australia, learn like how their community and all that shit, like how it thrives. Like, what is it about this that makes it so special? And then try to bring it back here.
The problem is, I get what you're saying, but I don't think there is something missing in Australia. The problem is the structure is wrong.
Yeah.
The structure is wrong. They give attention to all the bullshit.
So they give the attention to people overseas.
And that's it.
That's the reality of it. But yeah, like, cause like I know, for example, if I was to, like, someone asked me this, cause what I do, YouTube, I should really be in the US because that's the hub of like they actually have a hub where you can, it's like a school. You can go there and learn. How crazy is that? How cool is that? And like that, to me, when I heard that, I was like, that's interesting. Like, you can literally go somewhere and learn and like there's big YouTubers, like not the obviously big international ones, but there's even ones that came from there that, like, you know, like they can teach you little shit. And that's pretty...
The funny thing is, because I've been to LA and I've been to New York and Boston and I'll go around the world, man. Like, I make music where I can make
I've been to LA as well.
And when I was in California, and I was like, people trying to give you a hand for everything. They help you out and they're not scared to lose what their knowledge is.
Go. Finish.
And they're not scared to help you, and like they're all pointing and grow together.
Yes.
And then
you know how everyone
is working so much.
You know how everyone asks why is Snoop Dogg still so big in the scene? That's why. That's why. No, but that's why. If you've noticed, even the young guns praise him.
Yeah.
They're like, yo, like he's one of the first people that will sit you down and be like, youngin, I know you're not going to listen to me, but please, if you need anything, hit me up. Pharrell's another one that they sit you down and they'll be like, oi, I know we don't know each other. You might be like, oh, this guy's just an old guy jealous of me. But listen to what I say. If you ever need help, hit me up. And I will talk to you. Because
that's how it works.
That's how it works. And I think that's a big problem here. Hal brought this up the other day on the podcast.
It is big thing. Everybody is chasing something.
And as well, that's a big reason why the old heads in Australia get left behind. Because they don't want to teach people what actually happens in the scene. Because
but I understand their frustration.
Of course.
Their frustrations as well.
Of course. I understand.
Because they've been chasing it for so long, and then they see kids rapping about bullshit, getting fame they didn't get, and that's why they get caught.
Yeah.
But you gotta leave your ego on the side and, like, you know.
Like, I've seen a lot of old heads actually giving help to the youngins, and even me, man, I've gotten a lot of help from old heads. Like, and that's amazing to me. Like, people actually sit me down and be like, yo, like, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? Like, to be honest, my whole question structure has changed because of this, because of a sit down that I had with someone. And I listened to your response, and you're like, ooh, like, you're asking shit that matters.
Yeah.
And like,
it's good. It's good that we questioning things and talking about something. There's not like, how cool was the t-shirt of blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Fuck that, Robbie. Like, we need to talk about serious shit.
Yeah, like, I learned from the first one. Like, for example, the first couple of episodes I did before you and Howie, because the changes started with used to. I felt like that was for the fans to get to know them, like those artists. But I'm going to have to do a part 2 where I ask them this question. I haven't asked... You're the second episode that I've asked these questions to. So, you get what I mean? Like, I really have to... And I like it like this. Alright, let's keep it moving.
Let's go.
Does your creative process change when you're working with a singer or a rapper? Like, is there a difference between the both?
Nah, I have one process.
Mm-hmm.
It is the first thing I want to understand. Where's the artist? Like,
Mm-hmm.
where's the artist at?
Yeah.
What's their feeling? What they want to do? So I ask them like, do you want to do a song? What are you talking about? What do you wanna? What's your feeling?
Yeah.
What do you want me to
You
express?
explore with them. Yeah.
Yes, I need to understand first what you have in mind. I can't just start making a beat for whatever, because you might be fighting with your partner or having a shit day with the cops at the
Yeah.
cop shop, and then you come here so aggressive, and I create something R&B, and you tell me fuck off, Pax. What's that? You know what I mean? So I need to understand.
Yeah.
I need to understand the artist first, because this is all about the artist.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to put myself in their clothes, and I express myself on the keyboard, and that's it.
Yeah. No,
And
because
it's the
I know
same,
with a lot of people
process.
it's different. That's why I asked. That's what. Because I know certain
No,
producers.
I use one process for both of them. Like,
Yeah.
I don't care if you're singing or if you rap. For me, it's music.
Yeah.
Whatever you like.
And you're like, you're trying to understand like their vent, like what they're either venting or like why they're feeling that way. Yeah, I get that.
What they want to express.
Yeah.
I hate when people comes in the studio and say, "Oh, put a beat on," and I'll start. And I got a couple of fucking lines. I rap on it. And fuck off, cunt. What is that? You get YouTube's beat. Go home, rapping your fucking YouTube beat. Like, I don't need that. You know?
Yeah. All right. Talking about your creative process, this one's gonna hit you very hard. How important is an engineer to your process?
It's important. Engineers are important.
Mm.
Engineers are important.
I feel like engineers. I want to actually say this because this is something very important, and I've heard this from an interview, and they answered this, and I'm curious if you agree with this. Do you agree they don't get enough credit as they should?
I agree that they don't get enough credit.
Like before, back in the day, they used to get as much credit as a producer. They apparently, like,
yes.
I did not know. Yeah. I didn't know this until I didn't know that until I watched the interview, and I was like, oh wow, like they don't really get much.
These all come together like, it's not about like, okay, put it this way.
Mm-hmm.
All right, before I was creating music and I was purely a musician.
Yeah.
But then like, I wanted to push my music a little bit. So to push it a little bit, I had to understand things that I didn't know.
Yeah.
So that's when I went to engineers to trying to understand I could achieve some certain technique and sound. Okay.
Yeah.
So engineers like are really important for that.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe in 2021, you can be just a producer. You need to be an artist, a producer, an engineer,
everything,
a mastering engineer,
yeah.
Everything. In 2021, then like I work with other people. It's because I like other people touch on my stuff.
Yeah,
it's good because they put their own ideas in it.
Mm-hmm.
But in 2021, if you're just a producer, you're nobody. Because when an artist comes in the room and like and he tells me, okay, create a piano loop, and I start playing the piano, okay, and then he tells me, oh, what do you want me, and then you come up with a melody for the artist as well. So over there you already switch from producer to artist.
Yeah.
And you create a melody for the artist.
Uh-huh.
The artist start writing on it and then say, oh, I want it to be more punchy. And you think, oh, hang on a second, there is already a kick and an 808. What do you want me to do? Put another kick. And that's when the engineer comes from.
Yeah.
When the engineer comes in place, and
he can hear it.
How am I going to put two kicks together to make a punch with an 808, blah, blah, blah. So that's what I'm saying. Everything needs to be the same.
Yeah.
I'm like, you need to.
Well, especially now, like, you actually have the chance to learn all of it if you actually want to. But as well. Everyone knows it takes time. Like,
Oh man, I got to a point of my career where I say, okay, I fuck with the stuff I produce, but I
yeah,
don't fuck with the stuff with how it sounds. So what I did, I stepped back and I started studying engineering,
hmm,
sound engineer. I sit down every night reading about it, YouTube fucking bullshit and blah blah. Like wherever I could, sitting down in a room with other engineers, and that's where you learn a lot.
yeah.
Because YouTube, it doesn't have the same touch of an
Brother,
experienced
you're never gonna
guy.
find an
You're gonna follow.
experienced engineer on YouTube because why would they give you the answers to
But there
something
are
that?
there are
Oh no, I know that. I know there is.
channels.
But like, for example, you're never gonna see like a Pharrell fucking do that on YouTube. Like those type of people, like the best chance is like you said, in person. The best chance
It
of
is.
you is
It is.
like I
Because
remember us.
what do you get from a personal situation is totally different for what you get
But
from
not
a
only
YouTube
that,
video.
you get a connection of trust.
Exactly.
So like you could actually go because he might next time he's working on something, he might actually just invite you and be like, "Yo, like we had this session together where we got along, where we connected within music." So what they do is they might go, "Hey, like come through, like, yo, like I'm working with an artist, come through, like you want to see like
It
how we
happened.
work on stuff and stuff like that."
It happened to me a lot of times.
Yeah,
Sometimes it happened to me to be part of a record just because they say, "Oh, come in the room. I'll show you what we're doing," and then I
yeah,
say, "Oh, we can." Let's see. I was part of the record.
yeah. Bro, that's like the crazy one was how I was listening to the story of Murder Beats on how he became Migos' producer. Bro, the guy was just chilling with them. He was just chilling with them, and they had no beats. And he goes, "Oh, I have a beat pack here," and they loved it. And they're like, "Yeah, wait, you're a producer for now."
But
Like,
that's how it works, man. Like people think it's something like human relationship are the most important thing
oh,
that
they
you can.
are. I honestly, I would not be where I am today without him. I wouldn't have you here. Like half of the people.
Exactly.
Okay, this is gonna be an answer for certain people that want to be on here. If I don't have a relationship with you in any way, 9 times out of 10, I won't have you on here unless I'm very curious about you. Because there's been some that I actually haven't met, but I talk to them on a day-to-day basis. See, I can't have someone on here that I have no connection with. I've never spoken to in my life. Like, that's not how that shit works, because then it's just going to be dry. It's going to be a dry conversation.
100%.
And
Like,
unless you're
people
both
need to.
interested about each other.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, a lot of people, like, there's been a lot of people asking me, "Oh, I want to get on this." For example, there's a lot of young people that want to get on this. I say, do you know what I say? I say, wait next year. And they go, "Why?" And I go, "You'll know more next year than you know now." And they go, "What do you mean about that? What do you mean I don't know anything?" I'm like, "I'm not saying you don't know anything." I go, "But the conversation will be short with
The
you."
reality, the
But
reality is this. Listen, the reality is this. People attention shift really quick.
yeah,
And the
exactly.
problem, this is a business where you stick to it and you stay in it. And who is dedicating? But this is in everything in life.
Yeah.
You need to put focus on it.
Mm.
And you need to like this. What you're telling me right now is the perfect example of the artist that comes in and pays $1,500 for a session with me, and then I open Instagram and say, "Hey, please, bro, send me some beats." Who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've been working for 8 hours with an artist to achieve that, and you just send me some beats.
Yeah.
It's the same thing,
Yeah.
man.
Like, don't get me wrong. I have a lot of love. There's a lot of people that I would love to get on here. But I got to know that they are willing to talk for at least near an hour. You know what I mean? Like, they have to be able to for example, like if
But what they gonna talk about?
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like for example, my episode with DeAndre, I know he likes wrestling, so we spoke about that. I learn a lot from like the Joe Rogans of the world. Whatever they're interested in, you talk. But as well, like this type of thing, I want to know your mentality when it comes to producing. So what did I do? I looked up questions about producing, not the simple ones. Oh, how do you do this? Not that shit. Like like that's
Everybody can do that.
like for example, me going, oh, how did you work with this guy? I can imagine you get asked that question so often that's like there's no point. And I'll say shout out to Rick. Rick was the person that told me that. He goes, make sure it's deep. And honestly, shout out to Rick. I want to actually give him a shout out for that because
It's really important.
it taught me like, okay, I need to engage more, and that's where like it's funny because it's true. It's just like it helped me, and like I said, shout out to the people that helped me. Like they actually give something back. All right, this is a good question for you. You're talking about artists.
Uh-huh.
What goes into the decision of working with an artist for you?
Uh-huh. That's a lame one. To be honest,
Yeah.
I really like working with artists. They let me touch their creative process. As soon I see that they want to use me like a job, you know what I'm saying, like
They keep you close.
like a service.
Yeah.
They want to pay me to do a service. I don't really fuck with it because I could have been working for a record label.
Yeah.
Instead, I'm a freelancer because I want to be part of the creative process. I wanna explore ideas. I want to be open. I want to give you suggestions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I see that, I'm telling you, no, change the word. It's sounding whack. Your metric is fucked. Like you need to change the metric on your schemes, on your bars, and you look at me like, oh, I'm the rapper, and I'll tell you, I don't give a shit. That sound whack. That's my beat.
Yeah.
And if I see that like you don't cooperate or something, that's it. You're out of the studio. I don't want to hear.
Yeah, I get you. I got that.
I need to be on a certain standard. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
But then money becomes another problem. Comes in and say, oh, please, I'll pay you as much as you want, and then it's different.
Ding, 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 ding. Hey, what? What did you say? I get you. All right, another one. I reckon. I don't know if you have an answer for this, but I think it's an alright question.
Tell me.
Out of all of the artists you have ever worked with, which artist has inspired your growth more? Like, has there ever been a specific artist that has really helped your growth? Or like anyone that like you've worked with?
To be honest, like I worked I'm not gonna name it. I don't want to make names.
Oh no, you don't have to say names, but like
yeah, but like I worked with artists like that. They show me like that I was making a composition, and then they say to me, no, just like switch that A major, put a D flat or whatever. And I was like, hang on a second, he's talking about music.
Yeah.
And I say, okay. And I say, all right, let's try it. And I actually try and I say, fuck, that's a sick idea.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
they are. Yeah, they are. Okay.
You need to be open. There are artists that like teach you something, you know? Like, for example, when I work with Sophia, okay? This is funny. Like, when we worked, like, I really fuck with Sophia. She is talented, okay?
Yeah.
It's there are not many female rappers in Australia with that kind of flow. But anyway,
not even that, her mentality. I know where you're going. It's her mentality.
But you know, every time we have a studio session, it's fight. It's not like when we talk, it's really like, no, Pex, I don't like that. I said, no, you gotta put it like, no, I don't like it. No, I put it like this. It's like full on.
Yeah.
But then at the end, we know that at the end of the studio session, like the outcome is always positive because
it's like it's not really a fight. It's more of like I know what you mean. It's a discussion, but it's aggressive. It's not a fight
because it gets personal.
Yeah.
Your sound, you know.
But that's
But
like
yeah, you can grow from artists.
Yeah,
like, you can grow from artists. Definitely, you can grow from artists.
But that's like I feel like that's a good relationship as well because you start to trust each other on what you do.
Yeah.
Like I would as a person that does like reactions and stuff, right? I would rather someone say to me, "I have a problem with your video," and say why. If I reviewed an artist, like for example, I actually had a discussion with this about someone. It was awesome. I won't say his name because I don't know if he wants me to say it. I had a discussion with him and I was like, "Oh, I didn't like this," and he was like, "No, this is how I like to make my music." And I was like, and I understood it straight away. I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine. Like, and I go, "Can you explain why?" And then he explained it to me. And I was like, "No, fair enough." I'm like, I like it though. Like, I like the song, but I just think that, for example, you know me, you know I don't like this. I don't like when the beat is louder than the artist. Like, no, because like I like, like you listen to the people that I like, but I understand it. Like I understand the point of that. It's more for like, huh? What'd you say?
That's when the engineer comes in.
Yeah, and no, but he was saying, he's like, "This is the sound that I actually like," and I was like, "Oh, okay, cool. Like I understand what you." And then he elaborated more on why he liked it. And I was like, "Oh, okay. Like you're teaching me." I like those discussions. I don't like the people that. Like, I do like the people that thought, "Okay, cool," but I hate the ones that you send it. I know they don't like it, but they say nothing. They just let it be. And I'm just like, come on, bro. Like, I want to hear why you don't like it. Explain to me what this music means to you. Why did you drop this song? For example, I had a very great discussion with someone that dropped an album recently. I loved the album, but he explained the album to me song by song. And to me, when you get to talk, when you're able to talk to an artist like that, like you must have so many amazing relationships with people because of that. Because that's the thing that, as a viewer, you can only understand some of it. Or you can't, unless you listen, like for me, I only listen to it once and then review it. Brother, if I did album reviews, like not live reactions, reviews, brother, come on. Like, because my first listen most of the time, I'm trying to listen to the words over the beat. I know you've noticed this. That's why I'll rewind it and go, wait, let me listen to production now. I'll do that. Because a lot of people, let's be honest, a lot of people just listen to the fucking beat. Let's be honest, there's not many reviewers that really listen to the words of the songs.
Yeah, because they all cap.
Yeah. Like, there's only a few that actually do listen to the words of the songs, and shout out to them. But yeah, like that's interesting to know because, like I said, that relationship between I've heard that relationship between you and Sophia. It's fucking interesting. She told me the same thing. So that's why we
like every artist is different.
Yeah.
Like and funny, like how we get that kind of like on fire when we're making music, but then as soon as we finish music, we're there smoking a joint. And
saying, you're chilled. It's like we did it. We did it as a team. But I feel like having a person like that is a good thing. And as I can tell from your reaction, even you're like, yeah, we might fight, but by the end of it, it's like I understand you challenge. Like you're the art. Like of course you're the producer, but as well, like it's a communication between a team. Going like, by the way, I might not like this, but this is the thing. Like you said, they give you the reason. Yeah. They explain to you, like you're saying, you get the shits with the ones that tell you what to do, while she's not telling you what to do. She's just challenging it and going, "This is why. Maybe try this." But if it doesn't work, we can keep it the way it is. It's a communication. It's trust. every job that people do, especially when it comes to music, you understand. Like this is to not to you. This is to listeners. Music is a team, and what you gotta understand is the whole team. They might fight, they might argue, but them together is better than them alone. For example, my perfect example of this was I was listening to a Wu-Tang interview a couple years ago, and RZA and Ghostface weren't getting along. They were beefy.
Yeah.
And RZA goes, I'm not making this new Wu-Tang album until we squash the beef. Because together, we're the Megazord. Together, we're an ultimate team. We can't be stopped. But when we're beefing, it's not the same.
Nah.
And that
is not the same.
And that's beautiful. Like they drop their personal vendettas against each other to make beautiful, amazing music.
That's how it works.
And I feel like I don't understand how people work with each other. Like I know there's people that work with each other and they don't like each other and they make amazing music. I've seen it. I've heard beautiful songs like that, but it's crazy like how that works. But that's just their mentality as a business person and be like, you know what?
Exactly.
I might not like the person, but we're still gonna make a banger and we're gonna smash it.
Because when you cross that door in the studio, there is no time for bullshit.
Yeah, like that's gone.
Time is money, man.
Yeah, 100%, bro. I agree with that. Like, I agree with that. All right. This was meant to be the end question, but I want to just ask it now because it's on the list. What is one word of advice that you would have used in your life that you would leave with the listeners today?
Ooh. Question, man. Is it already finished?
No, it's not finished. It's not finished. But I like that. I like that question because it makes you think. You know what I mean? Like
yes. Word of advice. All right. In my life, I never listened to nobody.
Yeah.
I don't care what people think. I don't care what's the reaction of people. I believe like you entitled to live your life the way you want it. And you gotta embrace it if you believe in a dream. Because 15 years ago, when I was in Italy,
yeah,
and I was dreaming to be a producer in Australia, I never thought I'd be at the level that I am now, in a place where I am now. And only believing it through, people through the way told me, this cunt's crazy, this cunt's cooked, find a real job, don't worry about music. And I copied so many.
Yeah.
These people now, they're the main followers.
100%. I know that feeling.
So if you believe in something, just fucking chase it and forget about what people saying. And there is plenty of opportunity for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to hate because your turn is coming. That's like, trust me.
Yeah.
And by the way, like, I need to special thank Inferno, man, because whatever like Engambino as well.
Yeah.
As a person that come from overseas, like for me to I'm gonna say that to be in the music in the Australian music scene today, it wasn't possible if it wasn't for Inferno.
Yeah.
And the reality is like when we're in the studio together, like we make music and the music is fire and like it's crazy how flow. Like one day you should be there. Like it's crazy how we create those songs together. Yeah. And Inferno is another perfect example of a person that had a problem and people tried to crush his dreams and he just kept working for it.
Yeah.
and now he's at the level that he's now.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is like, and I'm sure like a lot of other artists did the same, and like music, like other jobs and like other things and other passion as well. Like they're all the same thing. Like you need, if you believe in it, you just gotta push through it, and you'll get it. You just get it.
I like that. I like that a lot. Alright. I got
Like,
another one.
look at you, brother. Look
Yeah.
at you, brother.
Oh, I hear it all the time, bro.
When you started, how many people told you bullshit from when you started
Everyone.
till today? How many you copy? It's bullshit. You know, at the first, for now, like in like at the start, it will start to fuck with your brain because you say, am I right? Am I wrong? Is it the reality is none of that matter.
Yeah.
Because tomorrow is another day, and if you keep pushing through, that's who you are. You create your identity, and that's it.
Yeah. I learned, bro. I learned very early how important I say this to people every day, and no, I don't think people believe it until this happens. I don't think I'll ever experience how much I am actually appreciated. Honestly. But everyone around me will understand it the day I die. Like, they will understand how much of an impact I actually made on people's lives.
I don't think you need to die. Just
Oh no,
I give you a couple of years, and then people will see it.
But you get what I mean. You get what I mean by that, though. Like,
yeah,
that like, for example, the perfect example of that is what happened to Nipsey. People actually understood why he was so important. Like, of course, he always got that. Not actually, sorry. He got that late, very late in his career. Yeah. Let's be honest, he got that very, like, bro, Nipsey should have been noticed he was noticed by the real rappers. But he wasn't, mainstream noticed until...
Because he didn't sell himself.
Oh, yeah, I know. But, like, for me, like, I tell a lot of people that. I say, like, I'm very lucky where I've got told how much I mean to people. And I don't have to say names because they know who they are. But the one that changed my life was someone in the US that said it to me. And this person's worked with all of the biggest artists you could name. I won't say what genre or anything, but when that person told me their reaction to my music, my reaction and my feeling to their music, brother, it made me cry. And that's where I noticed why I'm here. Like, it's funny, I posted something today, right? And I feel like I don't want to call them stupid, but they are stupid. The stupid people don't understand this. This is a quote, right, by Nipsey Hussle. I told myself back then that I would do this. And do you know what the response to me has been? Do what? And I responded back to them going, if you don't know what I do, it's none of your business. Because, trust me, I dare you to ask that to your favorite artist in Australia, what does SB do?
Everybody knows.
Yeah. Like, and that's where I learned a lot. Like, I've had, like you said, I know what I do. There's times where I get lost and I'm like, but I do have messages saved.
Everybody.
Where I read it back and I'm just like, that's why I do this. Like, I remember there's times I have to, like, a lot of people say this, oh, you take a lot of breaks. If I ever take a break, it's because of my mental. If I don't want to do what I don't want to do, I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. Like,
it's a free word.
You could offer me all the money in the world, but if I'm not feeling right, I'm not fucking doing it. I've learned from all the other people in the world, when you take your break, you take your fucking break. Because it's earned. No one can tell you cannot take a break.
100%.
Like, I remember when, you remember this, I took my break. I've been taking my breaks at the end of the year. November, December, I take those 2 months off. A lot of people go, why would you do that? Like, for me, I have to rewind.
The question should have been like, are you okay?
Yeah. Exactly.
No, why are you doing that?
It's become a routine. It's honestly become a routine where I'm like, you know what? I'm looking forward. I work my ass off all year, January all the way to November, and then I take my break. And you know why? I think about it. It's like everyone in life, like football players, they have that. They have their time where they smash it through, hard work, training, do all your job, and then you have that period where you're like, okay, relax, take your time, reconnect, connect with the world that you've been away with for so long. Well, not so long, but like for me, like, bro, I'm working every day. Like, trust me, Pax knows this. He's experienced this in the last 3 days. But he understands it because I feel like a lot of people don't understand. It's that saying, they see the success, but they don't see the shit behind.
Exactly.
What you gotta understand is, like, I've never said this on a live or anything, but I feel like saying it today. I miss family events because of what I do. And it's because I want to. I won't blame the work that I do, but I know, like, what I do, it's not a 9 to 5. It's more. It's
100%.
it's technically
But
24 hours.
That's the exact, like, people forget, but this is the same thing. Where is my family? I left my family in Italy.
Yeah.
I left my friends.
Yeah.
I left everything for this. And you need to understand that this is like,
This is not built. Honestly, the reality is this is not for everyone.
no, it's not.
The life of, like, I wouldn't call ourselves like, it's not even, it's the industry that we work in. A lot of people don't know how to deal with it. A lot of people, this industry is not built for the weak-hearted.
No, it's not.
People are not going to like people might not like you. Take it on the chin, move.
That's it.
Evolve. What I learned is, you might hate me. I'm never going to discredit your name or anything like that. Because I don't need to do that. I don't need, like, you might hate me, but I might not hate you. You get what I mean?
People need to stop overthinking. All right, let's say that. I don't know if I should say this on a live, okay? But it's not me comparing myself to another producer.
Yeah.
But now
I've stopped comparing myself to other reactors.
I wanna say it because I was with Solo 2 weeks ago. Okay?
Yeah.
2-3 weeks ago, I think. I saw him. I wasn't with him. I saw him. We had a discussion, something like that. Some guys came to me to do a song. And I did the song and they didn't like it.
Ah, okay. I know who you're talking.
They went to Solo to do the song. I can't put stress on myself about
because they went to someone else. Yeah.
It's a bullshit because I know that I'm talented. Like, everybody's talented.
Yeah.
Everybody's got his own thing. You can't dub yourself about one person's opinion. Like, it's about, like, so you need to protect the energy that you got. You can't just, instead, you understand, it might have a different opinion and a different thing. So when I spoke with Solo, we didn't even talk about that because, like, we don't care.
I've had this discussion with a lot of people. Like, for example, like personal life problems.
Shout out Solo, he's a sick producer.
And they'll be like, oh, you better not talk to this person because they don't like them about it. I'm like,
what the fuck is that?
I want people to know this. This is what you're saying about the overthinking thing. Too many people in their head think people talk about them.
Yes.
They need to get that Harry Potter thing where they take the memory out and fuck it off. Cause it's not true. Do you know how many artists I know, they don't like each other because they think they hate each other, but in reality they both fuck with each other? And I can't just go to him, oh, by the way, yo, this guy said he fucks with you. I can't do that. Because it's a personal relationship between two people. So I'm just like, you're going to figure it out? You're going to figure it out? Or... But yeah, like, I agree with you. People need to stop overthinking. I agree with that a lot. Alright. This might be the second last question.
Okay.
I reckon you'll like this one as well. What do you think people struggle with the most in the industry?
Metric. These are the rappers, but
Yeah.
about what we're talking about, like the industry in general, the music industry.
You can, if you got more than one answer, you can answer what you want.
Like
Alright. Answer artist and probably producer because you know both. Like you've done both. Or yeah. You know what I mean? Like you've spoken about both in this whole thing. Like in your whole conversation.
Well, what we need is more respect, man. To be honest, we need more respect. Like and we need I think what we need is a quality control in place.
I know what you mean.
Because I'm sick to see Australian artists being laughed overseas. And this is not going to happen if you have a quality control in place. Because then you have a backup. You say, what are you talking about? This stuff is like that.
Yeah.
But the reality is, as soon like we get judges overseas, everybody runs away and they forget about it. Like, I don't know. We need a quality control system. That's all.
You know what mine is? You're gonna like it. I think one thing people struggle with is catalog. For example, I've been watching this guy on TikTok, right? That he does series about people, and he explains like what type, like for example, how to get into this artist, and he puts what vibe the songs are. Like for example, sad, deep, like that, right?
Yeah.
You can't do except for all the old heads. You can't do that for anyone here now because they don't have that catalog. No. For example, I express this in every reaction, and you know this because you've heard me say it. I can't wait for them to drop an album or an EP. Why?
Because that's where you see the diversity of an artist.
Do you know what brought me? Do you know what in Australia brought me that reason? And it was 1/4's album. Because and Hef's actually, because Hef did the same thing. He didn't just do one sound. He expressed his life. So did 1/4. They expressed what I understood from 1/4's album was the whole album was JM's and Spenny making a deal of we're not letting ourselves fall because the other three are locked up. We are moving forward, and when we come back together, brother, it's gonna explode the scene.
But that's sick. That's sick. That's well taught.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good artistry. Like, that's the reason why they're making the numbers that they make, man.
Yeah. And I got told this from someone that works with them, that's what happened. That when YP, Lex got during the New Zealand thing, when they got locked up, the whole team got together and they spoke about it. They go, okay, what are we doing? Do you just want to stop or do you just want to keep on going? And it had to be a mutual agreement with everyone. Not just the artists. The artists, the producers, the team. Because this is the thing, people forget. They have more than just a team. Like, it has to be agreement with their homies, the artists, because then no one talks about it. That's why you don't hear about drama from their end. is because all of it, it's this. They're a rock. You can't break them.
A solid team. They are a solid team.
And like they like I spoke to someone and he said to me, not only am I their manager, sorry, fuck it, I'll just say it, the manager of theirs, he goes, fuck it, I've mentioned his name anyway.
Yeah.
I'm their mates managers. Like, I don't just manage them. I talk to their families. It's more than just one. And that's the thing. When you have that,
family. It's a family. It becomes family.
And it's beautiful. But yeah, I think that's the one thing that's missing. Like, I think that's the thing that people struggle with.
It's not missing. You sit it on 1-4. The problem is more people has to do it. Like
I'm sick of these people that start in groups, and then fuck it, I don't like him because he didn't like my music. What do you mean, bro? Not everyone's gonna like your music, brother. Like, if I did that, imagine me not reacting to artists because they don't like my reactions or they've never seen my reactions, brother. I wouldn't have a job. I wouldn't get paid off YouTube for doing what I do if I ever did that. For example, there is actually artists that I personally don't like as a person. I will still react to their music because I like their music.
That's fine, but that's got nothing to do with a personal reason.
Yeah, I know, but you know, there's people
you gotta put your personal reason aside.
Yeah, brother. if your music's good. But that's not even that. Even as a fan of music, I still do that. Like, there might be people I might not react to, but I still listen to their music because I like their music. Like, I feel like a lot of people just, I hate it. I hate the word, but they have to drop their ego.
Yeah.
For example, in the interview that I saw, the one that I was telling you about, the guy says, the biggest, I agree with this 100%, and I reckon you would as well as a producer. The biggest ego in the room should be the music.
It is.
That should be the biggest ego. That's the one.
That's the one.
Like, stuff your personal feelings. Like, you never know until you try it. And if you don't like it, for example, I had this experience with someone told me what to do, and I was like, you know what, I don't like it. And I said it to the person, I go, I don't like it. And he goes, just try it. And I go, you know what, I always try something before actually complaining about it.
Yeah.
I tried it, and I spoke to the person, I'm like, this is what I agree with, this is what I don't. And we worked on it. And I was like, beautiful. Like, I understand why you asked me to try it. And like I said, I've tried it, and now I feel like I'm getting more out of the people I question, like, discuss with. Like, I'm getting more than just, it's more than just a simple interview. That's the reality of it. It's a discussion.
It is.
A simple interview would be like, Pax, you work with Inferno. How do you do his music?
Yeah, no, I get what he's saying.
Oh, Pax, you worked on Double Six's latest track. What was it like? It's like, those are questions that, like he said to me, they're kind of invalid. They're predictable.
Yeah.
And like,
Nobody wants to hear that stuff.
Yeah.
What are you gonna gain from it? What am I gonna teach you from that? What am I gonna, like?
100%.
Superficials.
Brother, we're done. Wait, actually, this is the last perfect question, because I've actually wanted to know this because I've never asked you, and I've never asked any producers. How do producers make money in the streaming era?
Publishing. Well,
because like I know, like back in the day, like with the CDs and shit, it was completely different, right? Wait,
not really.
go on. Anyway, go on.
Like, you can make, as a producer, you can make money in different way. Samples, selling loops.
Yeah.
selling beats, working with artists.
Yeah.
So I have a hourly rate.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Okay. And also publishing.
Yeah, which is like royalties and stuff like that, right?
Which is like, if an artist is making a million of views, you get a percentage on that.
Really?
Yeah. So like, yeah, but like depends. Like
That's it, because I've never asked that question.
You find out that little producers, just get like 50% royalties, and then bigger producer get paid off straight away because the record label are investing more money and making serious money there, so they don't want the producer to make money. Also, mix engineers getting points on a higher level. So like, yeah, the master, I don't know, producers that own the master. That's rare.
Yeah.
That a producer owns the master, but there are producers that owns the masters, and like you can make money from the masters too. But for example, like I got a placement with Sophia, and we had a split. And we had a split on publishing, but she owns the master, and we got this placement for HBO.
Yeah, I know what you're talking. I know what song you're talking about.
And I got my cut from the publishing, but I didn't get from the master.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's totally fine. We decided that from the start. Like, as much as you have like a contract in place that like as a producer, like you want to cover yourself, you want to protect yourself, because there are a lot of hours and a lot of money that people doesn't see that you spend in plugin, sound, softwares, and hours on like learning and stuff like that.
You're right.
I also make money teaching to other people what I do. So there are different ways to, but that took me time to get to that level. Like, you don't do that straight away.
Yeah.
The thing is like, the funny thing is like, today is different from like, if you compare it on when I started. Like, today you download loop pack, you put 4 loops together, you copy it, you put a limiter at the end, you squash the volume, you put it on BeatStar for $40, and you sell it to 700 rappers.
Yeah.
You got money in your bank account.
Yeah, 100%.
Then reality is like, that money sounds cheap, but doesn't matter. Like, that's a way to make money.
Yeah. Yeah, I get you.
But yeah, that could be a way to, like, everybody's got his own way, but there are different ways.
Brother, I reckon that's where we end it, because I reckon that we had some good questions, and if I ever have any more, we can, like I said, we can do another one.
I really appreciate you for bringing me in.
I appreciate you for coming on, bro. You have to agree. If you don't agree, I'm fucked. I'm like, oh crap, great. I have to look for someone. You were the second producer that I've had on. The first was third. Sorry, first was Gamirez. He does a little bit of production. Second was Chunky, which I haven't asked him these questions. So I'm gonna have to get him on. Yeah, I said to him, I was like, by the way, like I told him already, and he's like, yeah. He goes, let me know when you're down. What I want to do is I want to get like a few more episodes like with these questions, and then I'll bring back the people in the first couple episodes that I haven't asked these questions to, because I feel like yours was producer wise. But I have different ones for different people.
It makes sense.
And yeah, like, I'm excited. I'm excited to see this episode come out. And like I said, you're right after How, where How, like, oh god, I can't wait for that episode.
What are you saying, Al?
Huh?
What I was saying.
It was beautiful, bro. I'll show you a bit after this.
Okay.
Brother, it was beautiful. But yeah, like, man, I appreciate you for jumping on, bro. Like, I know we both have very busy schedules, especially someone like you.
It's normal, man. It's normal. It's part of our life, and we need to give 100, and that's
none of that,
people
bro.
Understand.
I'm taking advantage of that. I'm home, and I feel like you're the same. You're taking advantage that you're in the studio like 24 hours.
That's why like I keep messaging you like I'm in the studio today, yeah, tomorrow,
Yeah.
fine.
And that's why when I remembered something that my grandmother said to me. Rest in peace to her. But it was never leave something for tomorrow that you could do today. And honestly, I almost said to you today, I was like, nah. And I'm like, you know what? That's why I asked you what time. And then when you said the time, I was like, wait, I asked my mom, I was like, would dinner be done by then? And she goes, yeah. And I'm like, all right, bet.